Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Guillaume Poncet with us today. Guillaume is a founder. He's raising an SEIS. June Bamboo Water is his company. It's infused with ethical bamboo. It supports immunity and collagen. It's vegan, low calorie, and made in the UK. So we're gonna discuss about that one. My first company was Nootropics. I've had my fair share of years in the CPMG space. It's hard
Mhm.
companies to run, but very rewarding and always very connected to who you are as an individual. So curious
Sure.
ask Guillaume a bunch of questions about that. BookWriteGPT.com is presenting this podcast. Bookwrite is a tool that allows you to take your LinkedIn post and craft a beautiful book in 5 minutes. So if you go to BookWriteGPT.com, I have a free credit for you. Guillaume, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you've been up to as of late.
Yeah, thanks for having us on the podcast. So yeah, my name is Guillaume. I'm the founder of Juno Bamboo Water. I started this company about 4 years ago now. So maybe I can start by giving you a bit of background on the origin of the idea. Um, I'm from Switzerland originally. I started my career working in finance, and then I lived in Hong Kong for 5 years. And moving from the Swiss countryside to Hong Kong, it was a bit of a bit of a hectic move. It was a bit chaos, a bit of pollution. So very quickly, I found myself looking for natural remedies, looking for something to help my natural immunity, just to feel better. And I noticed that in the region, in Asia, it's quite common to have a traditional medicine shop as a preventive medicine rather than a curing medicine. So I thought that was a really interesting aspect. So I went into this shop, and then I found that they were using bamboo extract. It's been used for centuries in traditional medicine. It's packed with natural antioxidant, packed with precious vitamins that helps with natural immunity, with collagen production. So at the time, I knew that it was a very ethical ingredient, and then I discovered as well that it was, a powerhouse of nutrients. So I decided to leave my job in finance and then dedicate myself to start building what is now Juno Bamboo Water, which is effectively the first drink infused with the goodness of ethical bamboo.
Very cool. So I'm from Quebec. It's not as rural as Switzerland, but I also spent some months of my life in Hong Kong. I think
Yeah.
4 or 6. So loved Hong Kong. We were probably not in the same part. I was in the new territories, right, in the
Oh, cool.
mountains, and discovered ultra running there.
Yeah.
Shout out to UTMB, which is from Switzerland. I did a couple of these. So um, had a hell of an experience there, and yeah, the pollution. And I saw these shops that you're mentioning. I would never buy anything from them because they looked like sort of dirty in the streets, and I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if I should trust them, in China. But yeah, it's fascinating your story. What also shook me is like you started in finance. It's not
Yeah.
just the Hong Kong pollution, but it's that world. I mean, it's competitive, it's cool, but it's quite intense, right? And you went from this to an ethically sourced type of company. So did you had to pivot? Were you sort of tired of that world? Was it made for you, the finance world? Tell me a bit more about that experience.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was intense. I didn't fundamentally disliked it, but there was always something that was missing. And I think for me, I've always knew that I wanted to build something from scratch, right? Even if I was, in middle school, high school, uni, I've always wanted to build something from scratch. And maybe finance, it's interesting. You overlook a lot of industries, but there is this dimension of building that I really lacked. So this is when I was walking in the street, going to work, and always having these ideas popping into my mind, and willing to start working on them. Um, but then I arrived in the office, and it was a lot of numbers crunching, financial analysis. Um,
Hierarchy.
yeah, a lot of this as well. So I think I mostly missed the element of building something from scratch. And this is why I decided, after trying a few years in finance, to go into the more startup world, even sometimes investment in startup as well, because I just enjoyed this dimension of small startup arriving and disrupting like big sectors that have been established for years, if not decades. And then they arrive with a better solution, something that improves people's life. And I find this quite fascinating. So that's why I moved into the startup world.
Right. But you've also thrown yourself in a very hard industry, right? Like CPG, it's a beautiful product. You're a numbers guy, so you've got the funding part together, the numbers part together. What has been the challenges of lifting that brand off the ground?
Oh, there's been plenty. So I've started essentially creating a new category in the market, right? So if you look at the CPG or more the beverage space, you can see that is highly competitive. But if you look at the space, it's essentially a few big verticals, like the kombucha, the coconut water, the prebiotic sodas. And within these verticals, you have thousands of brands that compete with very little differentiation between each others. So what I tried doing is that I tried creating this new category, the bamboo water space, and then own it. So that's great, but it comes with a lot of challenges, obviously, because it remains highly competitive. When you arrive when you talk to buyers, they have to remove a product to put yours. You need to do a lot of customers education on the health benefits of bamboo. So I think for me, the biggest challenges were to craft the recipe, because there is no suppliers available on the market, because it's a product that I have created. So, finding bamboo extract, for example, it's been a nightmare. I've developed the first recipe, and then at the end of the recipe development, I finally had my product, and then COVID hit. Suppliers went bankrupt overnight. They were the only one to be able to supply this. So I had to restart from scratch after 2 years, after putting all my effort, all my energy, a bit of my money as well into, building the first prototype. Overnight, everything crashed, everything collapsed. And then I had to find solution because I believed in the product. There was early signs of traction. So I didn't want to give up. So I had to restart everything from scratch. So I think building the whole supply chain, the whole, to find all the ingredients, building a recipe that is suitable for global markets, that was the biggest challenge.
And why bamboo water? I know bamboo, it's one of the most resilient plant or trees. I'm not even sure which
Correct.
one of both,
It's a
but
herb, actually.
it's a herb,
Yeah,
interesting, and yeah, it will survive in pretty much anything, right? Even with low water, and
yeah,
it's even invasive. It's that strong,
yes,
and I think it grows like throughout the world, sun or not, cold, even in
correct.
some coldish temperatures, right? So why did you choose it to make your drink?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I think that's the first aspect of bamboo with which I got captivated with, is that it's a giant grass, but it's also a super ethical ingredient. It grows up to 1 meter per day, so 3 feet per day. It doesn't require any pesticide, any insecticide. It requires very little water to thrive. And as you said, it's indeed an invasive species. So you need to harvest it. Otherwise, it grows on top of the ecosystem, of the rest of the ecosystem. So it doesn't allow for the rest of the ecosystem to grow. So that's the first dimension of bamboo that I really liked. It's that it's widely available, super sustainable, super renewable as well. And once you harvest bamboo, you can use all part of the plant, the leaf. You can build material, furniture with the stem. You have the shoots that are comestible that you can use as well. So the ethical part of bamboo was my first interest, and then while visiting these medicine shop across Asia, and that was not only Hong Kong, it was also in Korea, Taiwan, Japan. I noticed that it's a plant that has been used for centuries, to heal the body and to purify the body as well.
Very interesting. Now, tell me about the metrics and how much customers you've had and the repeatness of it. Is it a good business? Do the margins look like?
Yeah, so it's a good business. So I've spent the first few years again developing a recipe that is scalable with good unit economics as well. So currently we're still at small production runs, but anything between 35 to 50% is the margin that we aim for, potentially a bit more long term once we scale up production. And for clients, so we started having good traction last year after closing our first fundraise. I hired our first employee, Jamie Nagel. He's our sales manager. He joined the team. And he's been super active and super efficient in developing our pipeline of clients. So when he joined, we had one distributor in the UK that was supplying some shops, some workplaces here in the UK. As of today, we have 3 distributors in the UK. We supply hundreds of venues, including retailers, workplaces, large office spaces, Selfridges as well. And then outside of the UK, we started getting good traction. We're starting to work with a new distributor in Ireland as well, who supplies to the whole country. And in the Middle East, we have a big presence in Kuwait and starting to have some in Dubai as well. In Kuwait, we have like more than 100 stores currently, including the biggest supermarket chain in the region. And I think lastly, and that's the good news of the beginning of the year, is that we are in touch, with one of the major distributor in the US. They supply to over 30,000 point of sales in North America. So we're very excited to start working with them soon.
Interesting. And yeah, tell me the Kuwait deal. How did it happen? Like, I would have thought that like you would get UK first. Like, who did that deal? And is Kuwait a hot market now for health conscious customers?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. So we always had a focus on the UK because this is our home market for now. But having said that, once there is a big opportunity, we're opportunistic as well. So Kuwait, we were approached by a local distributor, and things went really quickly. They asked us to send samples. They say, send us samples. We're going to see our biggest client. If they like it, we'll have a discussion. A week later, they come back to us and they say, our buyer, they really like the product. We're going to launch you in the biggest supermarket chain in the region. So in just a few days or weeks, we were able to ship the pallets there. They made a big first order, and then they launched immediately in 80 stores from the biggest supermarket chain. And from there, the demand only grew. They were adding, like, they add new stores every day. So we're seeing good growth there. I think the market is a good one there. It's obviously always a warm climate, so people are very keen on having hydration. It's also a market where there is no alcohol, so they're looking for something a bit more fun than the big soda companies that been here for ages, and that also supply drinks that are now a bit outdated given the consumers' search or quest for something healthy. So when you arrive with a new product on the market, people are intrigued. They have disposable income. They take care of themselves. They want to have something healthier. So I think that's why we see strong demand, not only in Kuwait, but in other markets in which we start to operate.
And did you close that one or your first sales hire? I see you hired first sales hire, and he's doing quite good, right?
Yeah, so my first sales hire, he's amazing. For the Kuwait deal, the distributor saw us on Instagram, reached out to us. So we work with Jamie, our sales manager, to close the deal, send samples, and then once we had the deal with the distributor, our sales manager Jamie is always active into calling potential new buyers in the region, and then we link them with our distributor. So we bring them essentially some new clients, and Jamie does this with every country in which we operate. So Ireland, for example, in which we're starting, Jamie will do the same. He picks up the phone, he calls potential buyers, and then once there is interest, once buyers have tried the samples, then we link them with our distributor in Ireland.
Right. And tell me about your target audience. Seems to be like health conscious women mostly, the
So I
yoga
think,
type.
yeah, type sort of, but I think it's gender agnostic, but definitely the health aware generation. Some people looking for something that is good for you, that tastes good as well, because we don't like to compromise on taste. So definitely the younger generation, the one looking for healthier product, but that is also very aware of what they consume in their day to day.
And tell me about the health benefits of it. Like me as a biohacker, sure, immune system's important. I take
Yeah.
a supplement for that to not absent myself from work or perform at my lowest, right? I have
Yeah.
downtime. Why should I drink bamboo water?
Yeah, so bamboo extract itself comes with loads of vitamin and minerals. So in our extract, you would find copper, you will find vitamin B6, vitamin E, vitamin K, which are all known for immunity, collagen, and then on top of this, there is also a bit of green tea extract. So you have this sort of antioxidant dimension. And we add a bit of vitamin C as well. So a can of Juno like this would have 30% of your daily recommended intake for vitamin C only. So, yeah, we like to craft a drink that is healthy, tasty, and with that sort of small ethical element as well that we are trying to um, push as much as possible and develop at every stage of our development as well.
And what's your current capacity? How much cans can you produce on a monthly basis?
So right now we're still doing small run of production. We try to be as reactive as possible to have always fresh batches because the demand that we're having is sort of unpredictable. And then we have all these big opportunities that are starting to convert. So we try to be as reactive as possible, not to do big production and then we don't have buyers for this. So we try to forecast as much as possible. We have big buyers in the pipeline now for the UK market. If this goes live, we're going to talk in the hundred thousands of cans per month. Right now, we're not at this stage, but I have developed, again, a recipe that is scalable. And we're working with partners here in the UK where the drink is made, which has ample upside room to produce larger quantities when needed.
And what's your main B2B go-to-market strategy? I saw that you were leveraging cold emails to get in touch with relevant stores or chains.
Yeah, so for the B2B side, what we have now is that we have established a network of distributors per country. And what we like to do is to then have Jamie cold emailing and cold calling buyers. So we have a CRM of with multiple data of buyers from different industry or different companies, and then we just reach out to them and we expose like this is what we do, this is where we are at, and most of the time, we try to send them samples, and if they like it, we enter in discussion with them. And then once they list the product, we remain active with them. It means that if they place the product on the shelf, we will do a lot of activation. We will send them influencers. We will try to promote as much as possible. So then we build brand awareness at retail point as well. So people are aware that the drink is there, and they are aware that they can discover it in these stores.
Tell me about day to day in your life. What habits do you nurture to be smarter, more productive, and healthier?
Oh, I do a lot of things. It's startup is not easy. it's something I was not aware when I entered it. It takes a toll on the mind. So what I do quite a bit of running, but certainly not at your level. I do meditation, I do yoga, I try to eat healthy, drink healthy, and limit anything that is harmful. I try to reduce stress as much as possible. So I think there's a lot of small thing that you can do at during your that you can implement in your routine. So I'm always on the lookout for a nice supplement or some sort of activities that will help having a clear mind always. Obviously, reducing alcohol to almost nothing, and that helps me for sure keeping a focused mind.
And what are you feeding your brain with nowadays in terms of learning? Because there's a lot of disinformation or toxic, stressful news right nowadays. So, what do you focus your attention on?
So that's a very good question. I tend to distance myself a bit from anything like this. I read into. I try to find unbiased source of information, which is not always easy, obviously, but I try to limit um, my my information and my routine to anything not too far off. So I don't read too much of the news. I certainly try to avoid scrolling on social media as much as possible, and just keeping things focused, small circles, and maybe instead of spending time reading the news, I prefer going out for a run or meeting with friends and keeping it closer to friends, family, real connections, instead of spending too much time reading about stuff that are a bit sad indeed.
Yeah, I found that Learn GPT is the best thing to do. You prompt your own GPT to feed you the exact stuff that your brain needs, right? And GPT learns in real time, not remembers pretty much all your conversations. So it shields you from the BS breaking news, right? And the news cycle, and it gives you like what your brain needs. What or how do you get your business ideas nowadays? Do you study competition? How do you deploy new business experiments and determine which one are good or not?
So in terms of the learning, I've studied at London Business School during the MBA, so that gave me good foundation, business foundation. In terms of new ideas implementation, um, most of the time I just try them. If we have an idea, we discuss with Jamie, we discuss with a few advisors, with some investors as well, and if it's a good idea and it can be implemented, we just try new product launch, new flavor. We just go for it. And if it needs to be corrected later down the line, then we do so. But we don't like to spend too much time making analysis of the market, this, that. I think if I had done analysis of the market analysis at very first step of the journey, I would have probably never launched Juno Bamboo Water. And because effectively there is almost no space. So I decided instead of building like a 50 pages business plan with market research, etc., I decided to start with a prototype. So I took it the other way around, launched the prototype, went with the prototype to see buyers. Then there were like early traction that was enough for me to feel confident about the next stage and to start pushing that way. But certainly not pushing too much on the academic or analysis side.
Thank God you didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
you would have not launched.
yeah.
Then deep research can do like a 50-page report for you in a couple of minutes and then summarize it for you, right? So, Guillaume, thank you so much for being on today. Where can people find out more about you?
Thanks a lot for having us. It was it was great chatting with you.
Right. And I guess LinkedIn, right? Or your website, bamboo-water.com to find you, right?
Yeah, correct. And Instagram as well is always good. It's juno.bamboowater.
And TikTok. So that was Guillaume Poncet and Charles Cormier.